Carols were just one form of entertainment at a Christmas celebration. There was also mumming, which involved people parading through the streets in costumes and then performing a kind of play. In some cases, they were biblical scenes, such as the Adoration of the Magi. There was dancing, too, and feasts. Though the Knights Templar were probably more likely to encounter mummers than mumming, given that their role was primarily to protect pilgrims on their way to the Holy Land. Well, that was the idea anyway. Some Templars got pretty carried away on their crusades, as you will see in this series. Christmas celebrations took place in halls or great chambers inside the homes of nobles, and they were sometimes held in guild halls or even a big tent if a lord was camping out. Music would have been provided by a minstrel or traveling musicians, and you might hear the sounds of a medieval Christmas like this. But how would a commoner have celebrated Christmas? A Merry Templar Christmas to you all. But hang on a moment. How would a Knight Templar have celebrated Christmas? Think I need to shed some light on this. What would a knight eat in medieval France? Knights, along with everyone else in medieval society, would have eaten 3 main meals a day. However, these were not necessarily served at regular intervals. Breakfast, known as petit déjeuner, was normally eaten around 9 a.m. and consisted of bread dipped in wine or milk. Lunch, or le dîner, was usually eaten at around noon, and dinner, or le souper, was eaten around 6 p.m. Medieval cooks would often use whatever was available, so menus changed throughout the year. In summer, there would be plenty of fruit, vegetables, and salads to go around. During the winter, the focus would shift to heavier foods like meat pies and roasted meats. Knights would also have access to finer ingredients and cuts of meat than the average peasant. During medieval jousting tournaments, knights would eat particularly well, and they would enjoy dishes such as peacock and swan. They would also have access to imported spices and ingredients from across Europe and the Middle East. What would a knight eat in medieval England? For breakfast, a knight might eat bread, cheese, eggs, and milk. Lunch might consist of a meat pie, while dinner could include roasted venison or boar. What would a knight eat in medieval Germany? German knights would eat similar foods to those in England and France. Their diet would change depending on the season, but in general, they would eat plenty of bread, cheese, and fruit. In winter, they would eat more hearty foods such as roasted meats and sausages. And now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without a good old Yule log. These logs were enormous, often requiring 2 or more grown men to carry them. A massive log was cut in preparation for Christmas Eve, placed in the fireplace, and set alight. With the fire roaring away, it was time for the lord of the manor to carve the great Yule log, starting with a cross-shaped cut. Every family member was present when the Yule log burned. It symbolized Christ being born, and the firelight helped to drive out the darkness of winter. It's worth remembering, too, that Christmas was a religious holiday. After the feasting and fun, there would be church services and nativity plays. On the morning of December, children would attend a church service known as the Festival of the Holy Innocents, which commemorated the massacre of babies ordered by King Herod. The Knights Templar didn't have a great reputation. They were often portrayed as ferocious fighters who went on murderous rampages, but life as a Knight Templar wasn't always what it seemed. Join historian Dan Jones as he brings you the inside story of one of history's most feared and revered warrior orders. Merry Christmas, guys! Hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to know more about the history of Christmas and all the traditions and customs, there's loads more information on my website. Have a great new year, and I look forward to bringing you loads more videos. Cheers. Bye.